last night, Deb and I were watching this space thing about the first shots to Mars, okay, that were done 40 years ago, and they they got this lander out there and they landed on Mars, and then they couldn't deploy the shovel that was supposed to shovel up a piece of Mars. Did you hear about this?
Because like that was one of the first things, and everything like it was malfunctioning.
Yeah, it was malfunctioning. They couldn't figure out why, right? So they went back and they looked at all the code and they said, oh my, when we were doing this on Earth, we didn't worry about the locking pin that held the shovel in place during the transit from Earth to Mars. And so we just had the shovel come out and do its digging, right? But on Mars, we had a pin in there to keep the shovel in place while we landed because of the impact. And so we needed a command in the software that pulled the pin out, pulled the locking pin out so that the shovel could deploy, right? And so, and this is a time when they were doing code on IBM cards, right? And so they had to do all the code in these stacks of IBM cards, and they'd run it and it wouldn't work, and they'd have to go back through all these cards and figure out where their flaw was and everything. And so finally they got it figured out, right? And they transmitted this code to the lander, and sure enough, it worked. And the next thing they had was a picture coming back from the lander showing the pin pulled at the foot of the lander, right? And they said, "Oh, we know we succeeded, right?" Right. So what I was thinking about was, you know, this movie Contact, right? That was written by Sagan. It's based on a novel by Carl Sagan, and the idea of that movie is that we get this awesome message from somewhere in outer space, right? And it gives us the full plans to build a machine. That's the whole idea of that movie, right? And with that, those plans, we're going to build this machine, and then we're going to experience something. Okay, so the problem is that that isn't the message that we're going to get from another species on another planet. We're going to get the message, pull the pin on the lander, right? Because 40 years ago we sent this message to the lander saying, you know, pull the damn pin, and you know, so that we can dig up the dirt. I mean, that's what the message was, right? And so that message is now past Mars, and it's still passing out into space because it must have been sent on a very broad spectrum, right? So that it could be sure to reach that lander. I mean, it wasn't like you could aim at the lander and do it. You know, they had to, yeah, lead, damn it, lead. You know, you have to figure out where Mars is going to be 20 minutes from now when the message is going to get there, right? And so on. So there's some calculations involved. So therefore, they must have, when they transmitted the message to pull the pin, they must have sent it out on a very broad spectrum. And so if they did that, then this message is going out into space, and it's 40 years, so it's now 40 light years away.
Yeah, thanks.
Pardon?
We're solving code issues out in the universe.
Right. So
setting off the car alarm. That'll help.
So in 999,960 years from now, this message will reach the other side of the galaxy, and over there might be some intelligent species that could read it, and they're going. First of all, they're going to think this message is gibberish, right? But if they could figure it out, it's going to be a message that says "drop the damn locking pin," right? It's not going to be something. It's not going to be something that is nothing profound. Like here's how to build a machine, right? and so if we get a message from outer space, it's going to be something like that. It's going to be, or as that movie suggested, the first message that was transmitted into outer space was.
We probably already got it. We just don't. We're not smart enough to know it yet.
That's right.
Not our best foot forward. It's our first
Right.
impression.
Right.